Hi, welcome back guys. We're going to go through page 13 now. Please watch the little video before this page explaining a little bit about what this constant of proportionality is all about, because I'm going to get just stuck straight into the questions here. Okay, so we're told that A is directly proportional to B. In maths speak, we can shorthand that, sorry, slow today, by just saying A, fish symbol, B. Okay, of course that's got nothing to do with a fish, that is the proportional symbol. Okay, and we can then write that as a formula, which is what we need to do for part A, by changing that fish symbol into an equals k. You can always change that into an equals k. Okay, we're now going to find out what that k is by substituting in the values we've been given here. So A is 12 when B is 3. Now I'm going to write that 3 first because it's just going next to the k. Okay, and it makes sense to put a number first in algebra if it's times in together. Now I'm going to rearrange that formula to find what k is. To do that I need to get rid of this 3. I would divide both sides by 3 and that would tell me that k is equal to 4. Now that is a constant. We've just found what the constant of proportionality is here. We're going to go back to this general formula. We're going to use a and b again because those are variables, but instead of k we're going to use 4 because that's a constant. And there's our answer to part A. We can now use that formula for parts B and C. Go on computer. Okay, so here we're asked to find the value of A when B is 5, so we're just going to substitute in B is 5, and that tells us that A is 20. And then on part C, you go back to using the general formula again, but this time we're told A is 36, find the value of B. So to work out what B is, I need to get rid of this 4, so I divide both sides by 4 and get 9. Okay, let's move on to question 2. We're going to do this left-hand column first because these are all direct proportion questions and the right-hand column are all inverse proportion questions. Okay, C is directly proportional to D. Oops. So we're going to write C, fish, D. We're going to immediately change that fish to an equals K. And we're then going to substitute in our values to find out what that K is. And D is 5, I'm just going to put that in front of the K actually. Better algebra. Okay, and to find what K is, we're going to divide by 5. So K is 25. So our formula, our equation for C in terms of D is C equals 25D. Find the value of C when D is 10. So I'm just doing 25 times 10. So that's 250. And find the value of D when C is 75. C we're given this time. Divide by 25 and we would find that D equals 3. So nothing too difficult so far. Question 3 is a slightly different style of question, which they've started to ask a bit more recently. And they've given us a table here. Now, you can do it exactly the same way because we are told what x is when y, and what y is, its corresponding value. So we can do it exactly the same way. Y is proportional, directly proportional to x. So y fish x, y equals kx therefore. Change that fish to an equals k. So substitute in the numbers we have. We've got these two linking numbers here. 72 equals k times 12, or 12k. So k is 6. If we put that back into this equation here, we know that y equals 6x. We basically just worked out the equation of this line that we're going to get with these sets of coordinates. But a quicker way to do it might have been just to try and figure out the link from here. So 9 times 6 would be 54, and 4 times 6 would be 24. Okay. Number 4 is our question in context this time. Nice to see one in context. In a spring, the tension in newtons is directly proportional to the extension of the spring. So the more you extend the spring, the more tension is in the spring. When the tension is 180 newtons, the extension is 4 centimeters. Find the formula for T in terms of Y. So we're told that tension is directly proportional to extension. And they've used T for extension and they've used T for tension and Y for extension. So we'll use those. We can immediately swap that fish symbol to an equals K. And then we're going to substitute in the numbers we're given. And I'm going to put this 4 in front of the K. And to rearrange to find K, I would divide by 4, halve this and halve it again, and we would have 45. So here's our formula, T equals 45Y. Okay, work out the tension when the extension is 3 centimeters. So we're substituting Y equals 3. And that gives us 135 newtons. This question's in context, so we know what the units are going to be. Work out the extension when the tension is 585. So we're going to use this formula, but this time we're given T. So we divide by 45. Calculate quickly. And that gives us 13. And that'll be 13 centimeters. Okay, have a look at the inverse proportion side. T is inversely proportional to n, so we can write T fish 1 over n. And we can change that fish to an equals K, and we can put that K over the top of the n. Okay, we're now going to substitute in our values, so 30 is equal to K over 5, and rearranging that, times by 5, we find that K is equal to 150. So our overall equation connecting them is T is equal to 150 over n. Work out the value of T when n is 10, so substituting in 10 here. And that, of course, will give us 15. Work out the value of n when T is 25. N must be equal to 6. Okay, number 6. W is inversely proportional to F, so W fish 1 over F. Try and use the same lowercase or uppercase letters you're given in the question. Right, and we can change that fish to an equals K. And that K can go straight over the top in place of the 1. And we're ready to substitute. So W equals 40 when F is 12. So rearranging, times by 12, 40 times 12, 4 times 12 would be 48, so must be 480. And therefore our formula is W equals 480 over 12. Sorry, 480 over F. Find the value of W when F is 60. Okay, well, we can cross off those zeros. It's the same as doing 48 divided by 6, which is 8. I don't know why that took me so long. Okay, find the value of f when w is 160. Okay, so to do this one, it's a bit trickier this one, we need to find f. Now I want that to be on its own, I don't want it to be on the bottom of a fraction. I could just think, what do I divide 480 by to get 160? And that would be 3. But if I want to rearrange this, if I just didn't just know that, I would have to times by f, I'd bring it up here, but it would be next to this 160, so I'd then have to divide by 160, so in effect the f and the 160 can swap over. So that end up with 480 over 160, which is 3. Okay, similar question to question 3 here. Here's our linking couple of variables. We know that they are inversely proportional, so let's start there. Y equals y fish, y over x. We can change that fish to an equals k, and that k can take the place of the 1. Substitute in the variables that we know. So 10 is equal to something divided by 8. And when we rearrange that, we can find what k is. So 10 times 8 would be 80. So our equation is y equals 80 over x. Okay, so 80 divided by 8 gives us 10. 80 divided by 16 gives us 5. Now on this one, we're told that y is 20, so 20 equals 80 divided by something. That would be 4. And the final question on the page, the number of days D to complete research is inversely proportional to the number of researchers R who are working. In other words, if we increase the number of researchers, the number of days will decrease. Okay, so let's start here. We're told that D is inversely proportional to R. We don't need to read any further before we can write this. D fish 1 over R, and then change that straight away to D equals K over R. And then we can substitute in the values that it gives us in the next bit. It takes 125 days to complete when 24 people work on it. And we can use that to work out K. Okay, notice how I set my work out here. I sort of use columns within questions, show when I'm coming up to start a new column. It makes it very organised. If you just sort of put your working all over the free space here, it's very hard to follow. Okay, so to find out K, I need to times by 24. So 125 times 24 gives us 3,000. And then we can put that into our general formula again. Help us answer any question. So D equals 3,000 over R. And then the question says, find out how many people are needed to complete the research in 60 days. So we're told that D is 60. And we're trying to work out R. Okay, we can swap these over. In other words, we can times by R and then divide by 60. The computer can keep up. Okay, we can cross off a 0 here that they both have in common. 300 divided by 6 would give 50. And that is it. Thanks for watching.